Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Joe Montallan with Writers of the Future. We're out here in Los Angeles, California, at the Writers of the Future Awards. We're going to be interviewing quite a few of the winners this week. Well, we're going to be interviewing all the winners this week. I know y'all are familiar. We did this last year. We did quite a well. I think it was over 2 million people followed this last year while we were down here. So I'm going to introduce our guest in just a moment. Let him introduce himself in just a few seconds. Remember, I know we got live shows tonight, so if you happen to catch us, it's good. I'm not trying to interrupt missing piece or anybody's Angela's or anybody's time tonight, ladies. If y'all listen tonight, I'm not trying to get in y'all shows. You know I love all of you. Anyway, I know we are being picked up live. So yeah, what's your name? Give me your name.
My name is Jeff Weiner.
And where are you from?
I'm from Las Vegas.
Oh, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like you already.
Yeah.
So
Boomtown.
Easy question. What? First off, let's make this a two-part question.
Sure.
What got you into writing? And this is a question I always ask, and this is a little ego question, but what the hell makes you think you could draw well in the win?
Yes. So this is the answer you're probably not gonna dig. But so what happened is I've been doing this. I've been doing my artwork for a long time, and it's been a passion project. I've done books and movies, and I've done all kinds of stuff, but it's all been a passion project and just for fun, nothing serious. And a good friend of mine, Todd McCaffrey, looked at my work and said, "You got to submit this stuff, man." I said, "There's no way I'm not gonna. Come on, no one's gonna like my stuff." And he's like, "Dude, you need to submit. You need to submit."
He was right.
And so I submitted, and I forgot about it completely.
First time winner.
And so Joni LeBach calls me and says, "You won." I said, "Awesome, dude! Like, Joni, what did I win?" You won the writers of you won the Illustrator of the Future Award. I said, "Joni, at my age, it's more like Illustrator of the near future because I don't have like a long future." So, anyways, I'm really shocked. I'm shocked to be here. Lone Way, super privileged. This is an incredible organization. John and Emily are phenomenal. The way they're able to elevate the entire process so that it creates some real credibility around fantasy work is spectacular. And
it is.
And our stuff has generally been viewed as as they call as lowbrow, which is it's not a good term, but it's not. It's lowbrow. We're not, some of the community would feel that fantasy art is not real art, and when you have an organization like this that's promoting it and highlighting it and has been doing so for over 30 years now, and some of the best, most prolific, and most successful writers and illustrators have come out of this, and this is the kind of organization that can move the needle. So I'm super happy to be here.
Well, I'm super happy you won, and I agree with you. It took John 2 years to convince me into this, right? The first time he called me and told me, I said, "Man, come on." I said, "What are they giving? Slipping you $500 just to get signed up?" I mean, I had quite a few different groups, publishing companies contact me because we do a lot of hosts. I have 11 hosts. That's all they do is authors. They don't do anything else, and illustrators. And over the years, if you give us $500, we'll put you in. You get your chance to get in. But that's not how it was here. And so what he was saying, ladies and gentlemen, is they're very honest here. It's exactly what they say it is. It's blind judged. I'm not kidding you. I talked to all the judges last year. It is blind judged. One person reads them over, decides what stories are going, and then they send them to the judges with. They don't care what sex you are. They don't know what color you are. They don't even know what sexual orientation. They don't even care. All they care is about your artwork, and of course, if you're a writer. Now.
They don't know, Joe. They have no idea.
Yeah,
it's blind. They really have no idea. So there's no way for them. There's no way for any politics to get involved. It's completely blind.
Oh, and that was one of the best selling points for me because I'm either a writer or illustrator. I mean, my talent when it comes to illustrating is nothing, but I was just so happy that I could actually get behind an organization that makes a difference. And I'm like, for me, meeting people like you and some of the writers is great because one, if I see your work somewhere and I say, "Oh, I know him, that's great work," or if somebody writes some new sci-fi and I see, I was like, for me, it's hope for the future because, frankly, after COVID, I'm just bored out of my mind with any sci-fi, anything. I'm not going to even lie about it. So you got to talk to Joni, and Joni's the stuff, ain't she? I mean, she is just non-stop.
she's a firecracker. Well, I'll tell you, she's a firecracker, and she's super passionate. I mean, one of the other things about this place, Joe, is that everybody is super passionate and genuine. There's no nonsense here. This is really deadly serious to these. This is deadly serious for them to choose the winners, to go through the flying them in, putting them in hotels, going through the entire a week's worth of classes, and then the ultimate ceremony with this massive stage. And apparently there's over 30 different media outlets going to show up on red carpets. And, that's just a massive incentive and kind of a, shining light for people that are out trying to figure out, how to make a name for themselves, and where do they begin, and how can they differentiate themselves. And especially now, it's really so much noise, man. It's just so much noise. Anybody can be a graphic artist. Anybody can be a writer. Anybody can be, anything. You just, put up an Instagram page or a YouTube page. And so it's in some ways, I think it's more difficult now than it's ever been, candidly.
Well, I talked with some illustrators in New Orleans and some other people. We were talking about writers of the future, and they had said they had wished they had won that way because it brings a bit of credibility to you. I mean, it helps people. Oh, well, they won, and great artwork. So right off the bat, when you go to look for a job, or you're looking, or somebody's saying, well, I won Writers of the Future Illustrator, Best Illustrator, and here's my work. It's right off the bat. It helps you off the floor. It's better than trying to get a job with nothing under your belt. I know when I was young, it's hard to get a job doing anything without some kind of thing behind you. But so you got to take the author services tour today. How do you like everybody over there? That's how.
Oh, everybody's awesome. You're kidding me, man. Everybody here is incredible. And I do want to say one more thing about the organization, which I think is really super important, like really, really, really important, is that there's no politics in the judging. And I'm not only a cynic or present anything negative about anything else, but an award that's done through purely impartial, without any internal politicking or otherwise, is the one that actually has the most credibility. And when you win it, it not only is make you. It's a personal triumph as well, to be judged solely on your work, not within the context of a smaller art competition or otherwise.
I think that brings more credibility than anything. Yeah. It's
it's huge.
And I'm not kidding you. It took John 2 years to convince me of what this, because I've been being snowballed for years. And I'm saying, oh, John, I don't know if I can get behind any organizations, man. I don't know. And after meeting him and meeting Emily, and Emily's, Jesus, she works harder than anybody out here.
Yeah.
That girl never stopped. Ladies, I'm talking about Emily Goodwin. Y'all have seen her on Science and Beyond with John and me on several occasions, but she's a workaholic. And, but Joni's great, because I always, I talk to Joni a lot, and she always tells me the same thing. Because when I was interviewing everybody last year, they were all the call from Joni. And she said, and I know a couple of people that got like best run. So you won first time right out, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. That's usually only one or two of y'all either. But ladies and gentlemen, there's 24 from this year, and I think 6 or 7 joined us from past years. And to see somebody win first out, because like Luke Bob, and I talked to you yesterday, he had submitted 26 times. A friend of mine in another field I work in, he had submitted 38 times.
Wow.
And now when we say this, we're not talking 38 years. You should submit 4 times a year. So you can get in there and sit. Now, this gentleman right here, I have seen some of his artwork. It is fabulous. I can't wait till we do a real interview where he can actually
Thank you, brother.
And see it. Well, it was like when I was talking with Echo earlier. Y'all's use of color is just really nice. I mean, I see a lot of artwork, and it's like, I'm going to say this politely, bland. I mean, somebody could show, like the picture we were just talking about, somebody could draw that same picture you did, but for some reason it looks dull. The older I get, more I want something to catch my eye. I want to see it. When I look at a pad like yours, I want it to catch my eye. If it doesn't, I'm just going to kind of move on to the next thing and moving. So now, so you're old. I know you've already had a career. You've been living in life. You're like me. You're going through. So, future plans? You're gonna really get into this and really be an illustrator?
What I really have a passion for is hyper realism and creating fantasy worlds or sci-fi worlds or creatures or environments, whether it's for books or TV or just in a movie poster, whatever it might be. But I like the hyper realism and vibrant colors. So and I like to bring a lot of CG elements in. So when I've composed, I'll bring in, bring in CG, computer graphic elements and build worlds and environments, and then start with that, and then start painting on top of it.
So quick question for you. So do you hand draw, graphic design, oil? I'm just curious because I know somebody does all three. Some do one, some do two.
So I do, my process is to basically block out, start with image references and a concept sketch, block it out, and then I'll find as much assets as I can, whether they're photos or three-dimensional models or whatever it might be, and then start assembling them into a composition until I like the type of the composition, and then I'll basically either light it or paint it or just use it as a base image to paint from and create from.
So you definitely have an understanding of color and shadow.
Well, thank you.
It's because and I say that in the old days I wouldn't even know what the hell I was talking about. But Santos, I spent some time with him last year. He actually taught me quite a bit about shadowing and sand. I learned more about art that year than I did in the last 40 years. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm learning more this year. And granted, I'm not gonna ever use it as a thing, but it helps me with my interviews.
Well, the
appreciation too.
Yeah, what pulls me to this hyper realism is the detail. It's the shadows, it's the niches, it's the scratches, it's all the little stuff that you wouldn't know if it's not there, but you wouldn't know if it is there, but you wouldn't know if it's not there. So that's why you look at it and go, dang, that's incredible, or you go, something's off. So that hyper realism is, especially if you have like I'm working on some cyborgs now, and there's tubes and stuff coming out all over the place, and they look crazy cool, right? But I want it to look real, like real. So you got to really dial into the details, and yeah. So that
we definitely look like you got a passion for it. Just looking at your pad, you seem to have a passion for it because I've talked to a lot of people over the years, not just from this contest, but before. I've been doing interviews for 24 years now. And I've talked to a lot of artists over the years, and some do it. How can I say this polite? Okay, some go to school and get out, do it as a career, but they seem to lose the passion. So it becomes this: oh, I can draw this, and it looks good, and I'm gonna sell it to this, or my company's gonna do it. But it's almost like it's almost like it's gone. Just the passion is gone away, and you can tell that. I hate to tell artists that, but you can tell them. The same thing with writing. I mean, once that passion's gone, it tends to go. I guess flat might be a better word.
I can totally see how people can get burnt out on it. I'm self-taught. I've not taken any formal schooling at all. So
self-taught.
But I can see you get burnt out on it. I mean, the certain expectations of how the world's going to treat you outside of an academic environment with regards to making money and getting gigs and getting paid, and like when you can't put beans on the table to eat, it starts to diminish the fire. But for this is for me, this is passion. This is a passion. It's just all passion.
Well, I mean, just think how many people you beat out that went to college or professional schools that submitted this year, and you're self-taught. It's that passion that makes that difference. That's probably why you're a winner, because you have that passion in your artwork.
Well, thank you, man.
Because I can see it in there. I mean, let me rephrase that. I can see the pride you take.
Oh, thank you, man. I really do. I really want to make something phenomenal and different. And I like to bringing in elements, just on a kind of third, come off on the side for a second, but I wanted to bring in CG creatures, and so I work with a guy that does some creatures for ILM. And I was able to bring those creatures in and then bring models in and then paint around it and paint it all together and highlight it. And the net result is like really crazy looking, but I think it's really compelling because it's really different. So yeah, I think.
Well, another side question, because I noticed a few of y'all like to use models, but some don't. I mean, it seems like using the model might be the better way to go. I mean, you're seeing the live picture in front of you. It's got to be easier to put it into art when you're looking at it versus pulling it out of your head all the time. Because I've noticed a difference. I guess with Echo is the first time I really paid attention to it when she was using them last year, and I noticed that it does seem to make a difference overall in the artist the way it comes out. Because I guess anybody can draw a woman. It's just can you get the curves right? Can you get the features right? Can you bring that softness in of a woman in and still have great artwork? I'm not sure you can actually do that without a that's but you know.
So look, there's a very pragmatic piece to this. I mean, like super pragmatic, which is you have to be able to crank out a lot of stuff. Like the stuff that you saw in mine, we cranked out 48 of those in about 4 weeks.
Shit,
And and you're talking those are serious pieces of work, right? And so, but you got to be able to crank, you got to be able to out production, you've got to be able to put out a lot of product. So if nothing else, having a reference to go from provides is just fast. It's a way of blocking out. It's a way of getting the perspectives right and so on. So that if nothing else, it's a speed thing. If nothing else, and you got to be able to produce a lot of stuff where you're not going to make any money.
Yeah, because especially when you're just starting, because you can't ask for top dollar when you're first starting out, and that's like when Mike was talking a while ago when he was talking about $10 a square foot.
Yeah, right.
That's what I was telling him when my company does high end paint, we charge more than that. We charge $25 a square foot, and I was thinking, man, I'll put you down there. You can do murals for $10. I'm making some money off this money. And I like Mike, but I mean, I guess it's weird. It depends where you are and all what you can ask for, but.
Well, yeah, you're definitely in a different market. Yeah. He's painting on the walls of buildings that are at 7-Elevens, and you're painting multi-million-dollar homes. There's probably a slightly different clientele.
Well, you can tell because we just did one, and this girl who comes in and does murals for me, she's been doing it for about 30 years. I tried to get this made here. So a mural, 20 by 20 mural, runs about $25,000, and she, don't get me wrong, she's a great artist. But I got to be honest, she's not as good as y'all are. She's got a good command of color, but her overall creatures or people just don't have enough realism to them. And I mean, and you can make a creature that's a cryptozoology type creature and still make it look alive, even though it doesn't exist. She doesn't have that. She likes to do more like grapevines and stuff like that and around you. And it's beautiful. I don't want to hate on it.
And listen, there's probably a lot of places like restaurants that need that kind of stuff, right? She probably got a lot of experience. Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah.
But it is all work because it's a good thing. But
it's very difficult to make a living doing art. Very, very difficult. It's extremely noisy. The NFT, this whole NFT thing is, that's another thing. And some people made some money, but most people, now it's almost feels like a pyramid scheme. I won't get into it because that may be a personal vibe. But it's super challenging, man.
Well, my daughter was very gifted before she went to art school, and she tried to do freelance when she got out. And she was making some money, but not the kind she wanted. So she went to a corporate company who's paying her $80,000 a year. Well, now she's paying $100,000, and she's a great artist, but it's burning her out. She doesn't feel like she can draw and do what she wants. She said it's more generic. I just feel like I'm just producing every week, and I'm not feeling like I'm getting anything out. I said, "Good, you get $100,000 a year. You get something out of it."
Right.
But I understand what she says, and it's one of the reasons I like doing radio. Because being in construction for 25 years, I do start to feel like sometimes I've done this 100 times, that 100 times, did this 100 times. But man, you're always great. Once it gets out there, I don't see you have any problem to get work. Like I said earlier, between John and I, you really get exposed to a lot of people.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I really like the opportunity to work with anybody.
Yeah, well, I just need one of our back servers to come on. So there's about 17,000 people listening right now.
Oh,
We're recording over somebody. Shh, don't tell Trish. Trish is our resident witch. She does the missing piece. Yeah, she's a good host. But, guys, you're going to see this guy's work a lot more. I'm telling you now, you have to be paying attention. So any plans on hitting any conferences or any of the?
So last year I had I did three gallery showings in Vegas, and those went pretty well. I think I really want to move the art more in the direction of movies, and with set extension and then CG and adding I don't know. I like I like the concept pieces. I like the concept pieces of putting together live action with or live or stills or concept stills into presentation type documents and that go out and you have like you got to have to go sell a movie, right? You got to go hustle it up, right? So you're always going to have the money to go spend $1 gazillion and do full on CG sets, but they do have enough money to do for example, from like a little niche market for me to be able to take pictures of their characters or their actors or whatever, and then I can take that and I can put them anywhere and do anything, and so to me, or make movie posters out of it and so on, and make it look like it's the Avengers,
Oh yeah, but there may be a new line of art for you to get into. So if you're paying any attention to the new sci-fi, like the new Discovery now, which I'm not a big fan of Discovery people, so don't write to me. But they have started creating these things instead of using green screens anymore. They're actually building the rooms, but they need graphic artists to design them.
Oh, dude, it's Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, it's called Unreal Engine 5. And
Unreal,
I'm all over that. That's just game. That's a revolution. It's game changing.
It's a game changer.
Oh, it's a game changer. They could do Mandalorian with it. They can do. I mean, the things they can do with it now. There was no. It was just amazing. It's just amazing.
When I heard about it, I was like, really? Wow, man. This is just great.
Yeah.
And then, I got a friend of mine. You won't believe this. He used to work for Mattel doing tarot cards. Last I checked, he was worth about $11 billion, and he has never done any art but tarot cards.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's got them sold all over the planet. He was working from that. He went freelance, and when he designs a deck, he usually charges something about $150,000 for a deck.
Wow, he must be a very famous guy.
About a nutcase is what he is. Bruce, if you're listening, I love you. But he a lot of the decks you see around today is his work, and then he remade like the Rider deck and a few of the other decks he remade. And but he doesn't sell anything in the United States. It's mostly in Europe, Russia, China.
That's very interesting. So that means he has to have a distributor. He's got to have.
Oh yeah.
He's got to have someone on the other side that really knows those markets. If he's here in the States.
So out of all the money he's made in the last 30, 20, 28, however long it's been, he told me that only about 15% come out of the U.S. market.
Is that right?
I was like, dude, how are you doing this? He said, the same way you're in China. Because we're in China. We have, oh Jesus, I don't know, 4 or 5 million listeners altogether in China, and because we're in 16 provinces now.
Wow.
And he went to China on a vacation. He met some guy over there who started distributing his stuff, and he said within 6 months he had made more money than he did his entire life in the U.S.
Is that right?
I'm like, dude. He said the guy told him, let's see if we can do what we can do for you in India. He said he sold more in India than in China.
And that distributor is worth his weight in gold. Those are
22% or something, but still, it's well worth it. I mean, he's retired and he's taking it easy. He always tells me, when are you going to retire? So when somebody's giving me
you get a big enough check?
Yeah, I'm not going to get a check. But for you, I mean, it's going to be a little bit easier. I mean, I know you've been working all your life, so it probably gives you a little, you don't have to be as pushed as hard to make money right off the bat off of it. It'd be nice, I mean, but it's not a must.
For me, this is a passion thing. This is a passion, and
turn into making some money. I see that.
And I like working with people and creative people, and I'm like old school. Like, you say what you do what you say, get it done when you say you're going to get it done. No BSing around, and when you find good people to work with, and you can collaborate on, it's super fun. So yeah, that's that's what makes it fun, is working with really fun people.
We still got about 2 or 3 minutes. We can write out any part words, anything you want to get across to anybody. I definitely want y'all to come next year. Submit people. But one quick parting thought: if you don't submit, you can't win. And nobody. This is the best thing about all of this. No one here is going to be mean to you. No one's going to make fun of you. If you don't win, you're going to get a simple letter that says, "Thank you for submitting." Submit again. If you happen to catch the judge's eyes, but you're not good enough to win, they will write to you and even willing to help you and give you suggestions. Free. Everything's out here is free to fly out, for free to take care of you. I think the only thing you got to pay for is your tux. They let your family come out. They hook them to dinner. They have a big gala for you. They give you money. They give you all kind of media exposure. That's why I'm out here, to give y'all media exposure. So, but again, if you don't submit, you can't win.
And I'm the perfect example.
Yes.
That's literally what Todd said. He said, "Dude, if you don't submit, you're never going to know." So I did, and here I am. So it can happen.
Yeah. That's big.
It can happen. For sure.
It can definitely happen. Y'all need to get out here. It's a great place to hang out for a week. You get to meet a lot of famous people. You get to meet a lot of great artists, a lot of great writers, and there's some big names and writers here, some big names and artists here. So you're making connections to boot people. I mean, really, these are connections you'll have for lifelong. Because I know I've made friends with a few of them now, and they're decent teachers and they're great artists, and they want to help you. They want to see you succeed. They're not even jealous that you might be better than them. They want you to succeed.
Yeah, this whole thing is a journey, man. And the sooner you can get with good people and that you'll know for boom.
What was that all about? Did I step on something?
Power plug.
Power plug. You're still on, though, right?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, you're good.
If we're still streaming, then I'll give you my website. I'll just plug my website.
Go ahead, plug it up. You're still streaming. It carries. That's one nice thing about StreamYard. It still carries even when something goes off.
All right. So my URL is jwcreative.art. And then it's this and then it's the same thing on Instagram, jwcreative.art.
We will get y'all back here in a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, we gotta wait for the computer to reboot back up before we let him out of here. If you're ready, you can just shut it if you want.
No, heck no. I got time. I got screen time here, dude. I mean,
all kind of good stuff.
Yeah, we can talk about what else we want to talk about.
We
want to talk about Joe. Let's talk about Joe for a short period of time.
Joe, trust me. Nothing about Joe.
There's a lot to say about Joe, and unfortunately, he's going to cut me off now.
No, you're good. I just said now wait for the boot back up. It's again, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all can hear me over there. I came out here last year because I just wanted to see for myself. And I think I'll be here every year from now on, just helping people get more press. Wait till you hear my lecture on how to deal with assholes like me.
Well, thank you. Hey, I really appreciate your time.
I appreciate
and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Because once this computer comes back up, we'll post it up. It's actually going to post as soon as we're done. So it's going to go out to whatever these venues are. And then see when I get you back there, we're not on the live server side. We're on the video side right now. When we got on the audio server, it goes out right now. Currently, tonight, it probably hit about 160 countries with a standing audience anywhere between 500,000 and 500. It just depends on what shows are on. Monday's a good night for us. They do really good. We got a lot of crazy people. I don't want them to hear me.
That's what makes it fun, dude.
We have a great group of hosts who really, really enjoy what they do. And believe it or not, some of them are good writers and good artists.
I believe it. I believe it.
That's another thing. I gripe with him all the time to submit. God, the other day, one of my hosts the other day, he writes, he got like 7 books. He said, "You can't help me to win." I said, "No."
No.
He said, "But you know everybody." I said, "I do know everybody there, but I can't help you to win. They're not going to care what I said." I said, "Matter of fact, if I tell them you're good, they're going to probably ignore you till don't know what the hell he's talking about." They're going to go the other way. But I'm just glad to see y'all here. I mean, this to me is a great thing. And I was telling this to Dean last year. It's just you get more than just the art. You learn things about financing. Learn things about money, how to sell product. You make good connections all across the board. I really enjoy it. And matter of fact, last year I walked up to the pool section during Wednesday night when they did a barbecue, and Dean was surrounded by a little herd of kids, right? And they're like, "Well, tell us about how do you do this? How do you do?" So he's trying to explain the difference between L corp versus an S corp versus a corporation.
No way.
And he was doing it the correct way, but the man's a millionaire. He's got a lot of credit to this thing, and they weren't catching it. So I walked up and said, "Look, guys," I said, "I've done all 3. I said, limited liability is just what it says. It protects you from losing your home if you do something stupid, but it's not for if you got decent. If you're making 500,000, you need to be an S corp. I said, if you start making $1 million or more, you need to be a corporation. I said, for the main reason is you get to write your house off, you get to write your cars off, you get to write your boats off. I said, you don't pay taxes on them. It's a whole different league." And I said, but it's a different thing.
Well, if they tell them to come into Nevada, there's no state income tax.
I go to Nevada all the time. They drag me down to Area 51 all the time. I'm waiting for them to get us one of these days.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, right? I know a lot. There's a huge exodus from California.
There are too. Man.
So the tax situation is
I don't
nice.
blame them for leaving. It's crazy in this state right now. Texas is also crazy right now. But so you got a lot of LA people going, a lot of California people going to where y'all are in Vegas. A lot of going to Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Just kind of crossing out, going back east.
Yep.
And I noticed, not bringing in politics with them. that was the most surprising thing I've seen yet.
Is that right?
Oh, I've been stunned by that. I was just like, I guess a lot of people just hacked off at whatever political view they may share right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, fortunately for me, I'm a centralist, so I can stay out of most of it. But
dude, I don't think you have the kind of personality to stay out of anything.
well, no, I mean, I stay out of the left and the right. I just tend to piss them off.
I just piss everybody off. I
was doing it. I flew out to D.C. to interview Mayor de Blasio. And while I was in D.C., I was asked to do 2 political lectures. I said, no, you don't want me to do that. And then they're like, no, John heard you speak. I said, no, you don't want me to do that. And I said, he said, why? I said, because I'm going to piss everybody off my audience. I said, unless they're independent or centralist, they're going to get hacked up. He said, I don't believe you. I said, okay, let's see what happens. So 30 minutes into the interview, people put their hand. I said, no Q&As the last 20, 30 minutes. And you got to wait. These people, you can see their face, they're twitching.
I'll bet.
I'm like, calm down, people. You're going to get the answer. And as soon as I opened up the mic, I'm like, oh, my God. You would have thought I killed the president.
I'll bet.
They're like, Joe, you're an asshole. You don't even know what you're talking about. I said, I know a little bit about politics. And I said, I've done a lot of shows with a lot of listeners, and I do a lot of research. And I'm lucky. I have a support team. I have a research team. I have a lot of hosts that back me up. So it's easier for me than it is for a lot of other people in the country. I mean, because, you got to do it on your own. But I took the time to actually develop a support team, so I didn't have to.
Look, haters are going to hate. It is what it is. You can't, and just like any kind of rejection, which goes back to the competition here. You submit, you see if you can win, and if you rejection is rejection. You got to learn how to deal with it. Take your lumps, move on. If you don't, and whatever the endeavor is, right? This is no different.
The very first radio show I ever done, I got 500 pieces of hate mail easy. And I think there might have only been 5,000 listeners.
There's 499 listeners.
A producer goes, what the hell did you say? I said, you the producer, you weren't listening? He's like, well, he said, once you went off, and this guy just, I don't know, he was just ass. And I was fine. I was posting, being all sweet. And you just kept it up. And I said, I had enough of your dumbass. Let me explain to you why you're a moron. And of course, after that, it just went to hell in the hand. I did Rachel Maddow. I call it Rachel Maddow. And, interviews like that are different because, one, you do have to be a little bit more touchy about how you address things, but they fight back. They're not gonna let you just pick on them. They're gonna fight back, which I enjoy actually. So, go for it. Gene and I, y'all get this interview. This will be published, so you can go back and listen to all of it and see what he's going to give his website out again, so y'all can find you. We will have him back probably in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to be setting up all 4 of my shows just to do the winners from here for the next probably 2 or 3 months. I want to give them good exposure. We're coming into one of our bigger seasons, so I just want to make sure everybody gets fair exposure. I'm getting to send some of his artwork and a couple of pieces that he wants to show y'all and tell y'all how to get them. And yes, before anybody asks, they will be locked, so you won't be able to just copy and paste. Sorry, guys. We don't give artwork away. We don't give anything away for free. So now, if y'all want to make some donations, show me some love, give me some money, that's different. I can do that. But other than that,
we could arrange for things to be unlocked in a little.
But no, man, I've seen his work. Y'all know how bitchy and complaining I am. So he does good work. He's got a great grasp of color and shadow, which is something I haven't seen in a while.
Thank you, man.
Matter of fact, the only other person we have seen with that good color so far is Echo. And if y'all know who Echo is, y'all will be finding out. We'll be interviewing her soon, but just look her up. She's fairly famous, and she's a handful. I'm not one of the artists. Last year, she was tearing up the artists left and right. She had them all lined up, straightened out. And Tom will be coming in. He's another one. Y'all just have some great teachers and some great artists coming in. They all have good careers. Some are freelance. Some have contracts or jobs with other people. You can go both ways. And then it's like that. We were just talking about the tarot cards. There's quite a few calls for tarot cards in the U.S. for some reason. I know why y'all think y'all all witches or warlocks or something, but and you could ask this gentleman, he might design a deck especially for you. Now, they're going to cheat people, but because I get people all the time that can get somebody to design a specialty deck for me, so I'm sure I can. I said, you're going to have to explain it.
Dude, I started one.
Did you?
I'll say some more on it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So 72 cards, people. That's a lot of artwork.
That's a lot of artwork, man. That's a lot of work.
Only this big.
Exactly right.
That's more than just artwork. That's concentrated. I wanted to ask you about that because when Mike was talking about that mural he did.
Yeah.
So how do when you do bigger pieces? I heard Echo talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
How do you get them from the computer to wherever you're going? Because I know sometimes things don't blow up correctly. You try to enlarge something when you take it off the computer, try to put it on something that doesn't always work. So you got a way you do it, or out of here if I turn the damn computer off again.
Oh, and so I try to do a 1-to-1 scale at 300 DPI, and so I work. What the file says I work with are just ridiculous 20 gigs, 30 gigs. They're massive.
Yeah, that's big.
But I know that or if it's going to be like, the side of a building kind of thing, I'll do it at a scale, maybe half scale or quarter scale at a really high resolution, because I know when we enlarge it and a lower resolution, you can do for larger prints, and it will be out okay. So, but I mean, I don't personally. I like to go 1-to-1. I like to look at it.
That makes sense. 1-to-1. To put it in perspective, people, our average 2-hour video archive is less than a gig, and even when we do it in high def, it's barely a gig.
Yeah.
So that should give you an idea. That's 2 hours of video running nonstop. If he's talking 30, that's a lot, guys.
Yeah.
That's serious high def. I mean, that's serious. That's really getting into it. Like, go ahead, give me your website one more time, email.
It's jwcreative.art.
That's pretty damn easy. Pretty easy. See, that's one of the things I tell everybody when we start this out. You want people to email you, make it an easy one.
It's easy, man.
See, like when I use LikeRartCox.net, it's easy. My company email I got rid of because it used to be SNJ Maintenance Solution this long.
Yeah,
I said, man, I can't use it. That's a thing to do, guys. But we got to get out of here because we're going to be doing a few more interviews.
Thanks, Joe.
No, you were great. I had a great time.
Man, I appreciate it
Guys,
very much.
Remember, go check out his art. We're going to have him back in a couple of weeks. We'll get his art displayed for y'all to take a good look at and take it on. I'm going to have him send me a thing. I'm going to use one of them for the the thumbnail for this archive when I post it later. So for everybody listening right now, any moans, clones, bitches, or gripes, call Michelle because I don't care. On that note, good night, and we'll see y'all soon.